In this video I'm going to talk about the single funnest night of my life, and I hope maybe that those who watch it might follow in my footsteps, not merely for the sake of my vanity, but so that they might enjoy this level of extreme hedonism. There's a Fatboy Slim album called Halfway Between the Gutter and the Stars. I think that's an interesting idea, and I consider myself to be someone who has scaled the heights of spiritual experience here and there, and also lived a very worldly and hedonistic life at other times, thus being able to experience the full breadth of human existence and possibility and potential. On this instance, I was at a psytrance festival in Germany, and I really wish that my teachers had told me about psytrance festivals when I was at school, because it turns out they really are a lot of fun. Of course, they probably didn't know about them either. Now, when I was a teacher, I actually did tell my students about psytrance festivals. What a corrupter of the youth. Good God, it's loud outside. I apologise for that. People who ride motorbikes are kind of dicks, aren't they? To make such noise. Anyway, back to the point. I was at this festival called Freqs of Nature, which sadly no longer exists. You know, they stopped a few years back for an unknown reason. And it was probably 2012. I think I was in my early mid-20s. And my friend Matt drove me there from London. And actually that's a bit of a story in itself, because, and I really do not recommend you do this, he actually drove from London to that festival on 12 tabs of LSD. And for me to be in the passenger seat of this stupidity was a bit of a leap of faith and trust in LSD, and lo and behold, here I am. We didn't die. I remember at one point he was driving 120 kilometers an hour down the German Autobahn, and he turned to me and he said, "Dude, the trees are on fire." And I remember thinking that might be a good time to put my seatbelt on, which I did. Anyway, these psytrance parties are fucking fun. Like, people go nuts in the best possible way. They do the good drugs, you know? You go to some shitty nightclub in your town and they're all drinking, taking the worst drug, right? And back then, ketamine hadn't really infected the psytrance scene on the continent, and so there wasn't much ketamine to lower the tone and make everyone so fucking calm they're not even at the party anymore. Don't get me started on ketamine. I mean, okay, subjectively it's great, but why do it at a party? You can do that in your bedroom if you wish. I won't go down that tangent. I won't go down that rant right now. We're here to talk about the funnest night of my life, and it involved a very strange combination of chemicals. I don't like that word, drugs, sometimes. It seems to degrade these things, these mysterious compounds. And the drugs I took, aside from just smoking so much weed, which back then I loved the weed, and at festivals would just rinse it, I took a drug called 4-ACO DMT. And 4-ACO DMT is essentially synthetically made psilocin, psilocin being one of the 2 active ingredients in magic mushrooms. But crucially, I took that with MDMA, and it was night, and God, the things I saw that night, the things I felt that night, it was as if temporarily I was the god of fun and partying, and I could like look at people and give them such energy that they would dance more. You know, I wanted to raise and elevate the mood on the dance floor as much as I could. and it felt like being a star shining. You know, we talk about great singers and great performers as being stars. She is a star, Madonna or Adele or whoever. And actually, it is a little bit like sometimes we shine more brightly than others. And this particular combination of conditions and variables, like these two chemicals and the atmosphere around me, and crucially the act of dancing, they temporarily did make me a star. Like, I was shining so bright and with such positive energy and emotion. It was glorious. And after that festival, I thought to myself, you know, the true history of humans is not really written. You know, we write about the battles and the kings, but the real extremes of human glory and joy and happiness, they tend to occur whilst dancing, I think, at these mad parties. I like to think in some sense they've always been going on somewhere in secret, you know. For whatever reason, we live in an anti-fun society, actually. Yeah, you can have so much fun, but only if it's in a, I don't know, Milton Keynes ski centre indoors, paying £15 an hour for it or whatever. But I guess the drugs I took that night probably cost less than £5, and they kept me going for the whole night. You can't build an economy on such fun. Yeah, it was great. It was the funnest night of my life, and I've had a fair bit of fun so far, amidst all of the existential angst and despair. I don't want to misrepresent my life as an endless barrel of joy and fun, but I have had fun as an adult. You know, I've had fun. Yeah, Freqs of Nature. That was a hell of a party, actually. But fear not, even though Freqs of Nature is over, the psytrance movement unfolds in the background. And if you ever want to know what real fun is, I suggest checking out the psytrance scene. Even if you don't even like the music that much, I don't. But somehow those parties, they are really fun. And the people there are the funnest people I've ever encountered. And I've been to other festivals, you know, in the early days. I went to the more like mainstream festivals and rock festivals, like Secret Garden Party in the UK. I went to Bonnaroo in the US, which was great. But a nighttime dance floor at a psytrance party, you see and can sometimes feel true wildness, true fun. Like, much gratitude to the organisers of that festival, to my friend Matt, who took me and indeed introduced me to psytrance, and to all of the fun hippies who went crazy with me that time.